Earlier this month, Russell Westbrook tested positive for COVID-19. While obviously this isn't a good thing, there's enough time remaining for Westbrook to make a full recovery without missing any games or playing time. But this opens up the question: what happens if a star player comes down with the Rona during the playoffs or even in the NBA Finals? And will it be the Mickey Mouse Invitational with an asterisk if something like that happens? And to me, the answer is fairly simple. If a superstar misses serious time, or one of the championship contenders team's 3 best players misses time, the championship has an asterisk next to it. For example, if Russell Westbrook goes down, championship has an asterisk to it. If George Hill goes down the Bucks, championship's fine. If Chris Middleton goes down the Bucks, the championship has an asterisk next to it. There's a lot of room for there to be parentheses around this title. I don't like that, but it's the risk you take in these modern times. Do you have any thoughts on that, Tristan?
I don't know if there's an asterisk if Russell Westbrook goes down, potentially, because I don't think people are exactly guaranteeing or even they don't feel that good about the Rockets making a big run. But that being said, it'll be frustrating, especially the most important thing with these last 8 games. If you imagine Damian Lillard getting the coronavirus at some point, even if it's after the first 4 games, people are not going to be happy. The Trailblazers need to ball out and win at least 6 to 7 games to have any shot at making playoffs and getting the play-in game. They cannot lose him to the Rona. It's going to put a poor taste in everyone's mouth if someone like the Trailblazers, Pelicans, if something happens to Zion's out of the bubble right now. We don't know how he's going to get back, and if he comes back and tests positive, are the Pelicans at risk of not making a playoff run like the NBA very obviously wants to happen? So that's the problem that could present down the stretch with the 8 games.
Well, they've got the all-star Brandon Ingram to carry the load if Zion misses out. But I think in terms of the 8 games, oh well, if one of the 9th or 10th seeds doesn't make it in. I like the Trailblazers and all that, but big deal. But if one of the major players on a championship team like the Clippers, the Lakers, the Bucks, if one of them goes down, then you've got some serious questions about the validity of this championship.
Yeah, when it comes to teams at the front of the pack, the Bucks without Giannis, you could argue, are a 6 to 8 seed in the East. They go from the best team in the league to very middle of the pack. Giannis, the most efficient player in the league, 3rd in scoring. If he goes down, their best player is suddenly Chris Middleton, who's, he's good, but he's not anything close to Giannis or anything close to
well,
some
no
other
one right
second
now is really
players.
anything close to Giannis, so don't slander Chris like that.
And another thing that isn't really being talked about too much is what if, let's say, Giannis gets sick and then he's not tested in time and then gets other members on his team sick. Let's just say, hypothetically, very unlucky, Giannis and Chris Middleton get sick at the same exact time, and the Bucks have a starting 5 walk out in the first round of playoffs of Eric Bledsoe, Wesley Matthews, Pat Connaughton, Marvin Williams, and
Brooke
Lopez. No one wants to watch that in the first round of
that
playoffs.
Team still probably beats the Nets or the Magic.
Yeah, but I mean, they go but they go from the team very heavily favored to come out of the East to not very good. So, and you can also say that with any other of the top dogs. Like, imagine LeBron and AD were to get sick, and then the team's led by Kyle Kuzma, middle-aged Dwight, and Caruso. It's not exactly a team you want to watch in the playoffs, and it would definitely put a massive asterisk next to it then.
Oh, I don't know. I'd love to watch that. But this is all speculation. Hopefully no players actually get sick and miss any playing time. That'd be for the best. But there are some things which aren't speculation. There are some injuries which are occurring in and around the bubble. And the hardest hit team by this is obviously the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have both lost Rajon Rondo and Avery Bradley, who will not be participating, one due to injury and one due to a paternity leave to visit his son for a month. And this is a big problem for your Los Angeles Lakers. It almost takes them out of contention for a championship. And I'll explain why. Rondo and Avery Bradley are the Lakers' 2 best defensive guards. And I'd go so far as to say they're the Lakers' only 2 good defensive guards. Without them, the Lakers are incredibly vulnerable on defense. Who is going to guard James Harden? What about Russell Westbrook? Do the Lakers have any way to stop Lou Williams from scoring at will when he's on the court? Is Damian Lillard going to be locked down by a 33-year-old Danny Green or Alex Caruso? No. Of the teams the Lakers could face in the playoffs, I look at them. You've got the Bucks. You've got the Clippers, Lou Williams, big threat. You've got the Nuggets, probably the easiest team, but still Jamal Murray's a threat. You've got the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell. You've got the Thunder with Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder. You've got the Rockets with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. You've got the Mavericks with Luka Doncic playing point guard. And then you've got the Grizzlies, Pelicans, and Trailblazers all vying for the 9th seed, all of whom have good point guards. I'm not saying it's a sure thing they're out of contention, but to me, this is a giant hit to the Lakers' chances of winning a title.
As far as their chances to winning a title, I do think it's a hit. I don't think it's as big as a hit as you do. They still have LeBron James, who's the best point guard in the league, leading in assists by a very wide margin. And you have AD. And when you have 2 top 5 players in the league, you're going to be in championship contention. Now, if it was just LeBron on the team or just Anthony Davis, like his years on the Pelicans, yeah, you could make a very good argument that they were nowhere near championship contention then, and they wouldn't be in this place in the first place. But I think Avery Bradley hurts it more because he was playing 24 minutes a game. His last month before the season ended, he was shooting very well from 3. I get that Rondo tends to elevate his game in the playoffs, but his numbers aren't as good when he's on the floor with all the other star players. So, yeah, it hurts the team. I think it also hurts them a lot more because it's 2 guards that are missing. Kind of like you basically said, best 2 defensive guards. If it was, if Avery Bradley wasn't already not with the team, I don't think people would be thinking as much about the Rondo injury. But they have Dion Waiters coming back. I'm not trying to justify it here, so you don't need to laugh at me right away like you always do.
Here to save the day, ladies and gentlemen. Out of retirement, soup in hand, Hennessy in the other. He is going to lock down Damian Lillard in the first round of the playoffs.
You never know what they're going to do coming back. You know, they may have been grinding. Alex Caruso, 26 years old, looks like he's 53. He may come out and ball out, so you don't know what's going to happen with them. You gotta see how it goes first.
I would feel much more comfortable if J.R. Smith was trying to defend a car rather than defend Russell Westbrook, as we can see from the video we're throwing up on the screen now. But no. If the Lakers somehow get matched up against the Rockets, they're out of the playoffs. They have no recourse to the Rockets just scoring at will on them. They can't run with them.
How are the Rockets going to guard AD and LeBron?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because they don't need to. The last time the Rockets played the Lakers, James Harden had 14 points, LeBron James was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, and Anthony Davis put up 32 points and 13 rebounds. The Rockets won that game. The Rockets do not need to guard them. They can outrun Anthony Davis and LeBron James. They will outscore them. Even if James Harden is having one of his quote-unquote off nights, where he's a complete liability, Russell Westbrook is capable of leading that offense with his style of play and scoring at will inside on fast breaks. Anthony Davis cannot keep up with him and stop him from dunking it every single time he gets the ball.
I don't
it's
think
another
they're
thing to
the
bring
Lakers
up.
In a series, though.
You really don't think they beat him in a series. They're better coached, they're better offensively, and they don't have players who can defend guards.
They don't got King James, Isaiah.
I don't think I'd want King James defending James Harden or Russell Westbrook. That doesn't go well for him.
He's going to reach into his bag, time travel a bit, and block him off the backboard.
Not going to be off the backboard when it's raining down from 3 from Mr. Harden. But no, you're clearly delusional. You want LeBron to be better than he is. He's slipped on defense. But here's the deal. There are teams they can beat like that with no defensive guards. And then there's the Rockets. That is the one matchup I will guarantee the Lakers do not win. They could beat the Bucks. They could beat the Clippers. If they get matched up with the Rockets, they're losing. There's no question.
You're really high on the Rockets then.
The Rockets' style of play beats the Lakers' style of play. And when you've got James Harden and Russell Westbrook in a fast-paced offense, yeah, I'm confident in their ability to beat the Lakers.
Don't you remember a few it's months at this point when you told me the Rockets were going to be a lot worse because they have no big men?
Yeah, I realized that, but then I saw Russell Westbrook attempt about 3 threes a week. He stopped shooting from the outside and has just become the point guard and become the point center almost. Because whenever he gets the ball, he runs to the paint. And if it doesn't work, he passes it to James Harden. It's a simple formula.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think the Rockets are going to do good down the stretch in the last 8 games and even jump a few seeds. So I don't disagree with you. The Rockets are poised to make a good run. But I do think the Lakers are still in a very good position to make the championship push.
Of the 3 teams that you and I both consider real contenders, they're behind the Clippers and they're behind the Bucks now, or you previously may have had them ahead of those 2.
They're ahead of both of them still, Isaiah.
They're really not.
When you got GOAT James.
Who? Oh, you mean GOAT James Harden. We are going to talk in circles if we do not end the video now, so I'm going to let you viewers at home know This is the end of an era for your Los Angeles Lakers, except the era never really started.
That has been the end of this episode. Let us know what you think about the problems facing teams in the NBA bubble. Check us out on Instagram. We've been posting a lot more there. Check us out on Twitter, where we've been posting a lot more. Like, subscribe, again, comment, let us know what you thought, and we'll see you next time.